How's it going, everybody? Mike here. Today I've decided to talk about probably the most asked about, subject topic thing when it comes to merch by Amazon by people who are just starting out. And it's how to get out of tier 10. I've added, how to get out of tier 10 and 25 because depending on your situation, for example, depending on how much spare cash you have, what kind of financial situation you're in, or how serious you are about this business, and how you view merch by Amazon, then tier 25 might apply as well. So we're gonna get into this, and what I've done is I've done some pretty deep research about this by looking at all the sources that are out there. I put it into about 4 or 5 slides. We're going to talk about, each thing in some detail, not a lot, but I'm going to tell you guys things that I've learned and then what other people have suggested. And there are so many suggestions out there, but these are the ones that I've kind of picked as the ones that make the most sense and that actually are practical. You don't want to do something where you're kind of hoping and thinking that it might do the trick and then it doesn't. So let's get into this. And then I do want to talk about one thing that I just mentioned when I said if you are serious about this business. And when talking about merch by Amazon, I really need people, especially people starting out or people that have just applied for merch by Amazon and have not yet been approved, to realize the opportunity here, because this is a print on demand platform, but this is not your Redbubble, this is not your Zazzle, this is not your Society6. This is Amazon. This is Merch by Amazon, which is a partnership with the most profitable company in the world, and they're basically saying, listen, we're going to keep the stock for you in our facilities. We're going to print your designs. We're going to ship your products. We're going to deal with customer service and customer issues. And what you're going to do is you're going to collect royalties. So a lot of people don't actually take this as a very serious thing. They think it's something you can play around with. You can kind of steal designs or list the trademarked information or designs. And what I want to do, and I've been kind of doing this over time through my channel, is just telling people, that's not the case. Take this seriously, because when I get let's say $1,000 deposit or more or less, and that actually becomes the norm in your life, where you're getting thousands of dollars from Amazon every single month, and people that are more successful than I am are getting way more than that. There are people that are making $10,000 in royalties every single month. Then you realize how powerful this can be. Anyways, I wanted to kind of stress that to you guys, because if you're new, I want you to take this seriously, because the opportunity is great. Here's the first suggestion: buy yourself out. Simple. There's a couple of things that where this might not work. By the way, I did a PowerPoint slide for you guys. That's how serious I am about this presentation. I'm kidding. If you don't have any money, or don't have maybe $150, because that's probably how much it's going to cost you to buy yourself out of the tier, then it might not be a good idea for you. So if you're in that situation, then this step probably doesn't work for you. If you are in that situation, if you're based in one of the countries where you can actually buy your product for yourself, for example, if you're listing on the US market, then and you're living in, I don't know, India, most likely you won't be able to order those products because they will only ship to US based addresses. So in that case, it might not work. But again, let's say if everything works and you can order your own products, this is the way to go. Buy yourself out. Gifts for yourself and your family, just buy them. Use this opportunity to promote your business. This is where you can give away products. So for example, if you do have let's say if you're branding, if you're going with a single brand, if you want to promote one or multiple products, this is your opportunity to link back to that listing. Or let's say if you want to promote, I don't even know, a random store that's not related to Amazon merch. Maybe you want to promote your Etsy store, but the way you want to do it is to spend money and buy yourself out of tier 10. Then do some kind of a contest, giveaway, or whatever it is, because people will want a free shirt, right? And you can always link it back to whatever you want. That's one way to promote that business, and like I said, to spend money to buy yourself out. And then just give gifts to I'm thinking kids, teen football teams, soccer clubs, whatever the case is, because in the future, if these people want to order more merchandise or clothing or just simply t-shirts, they might come back to you and you can give them, bulk order discounts, or just simply say, listen, I'm going to give you guys a really good deal if you continue to buy my products. Now, I understand that a lot of people maybe are not comfortable with this kind of stuff, but I think that's the downside of staying completely virtual or online, because we miss out on so many opportunities that we could create, by doing the old-fashioned sales and actually going out and talking to people. Buying yourself out. There was something I wanted to show you guys, and this is it. And again, I've talked about this on my channel for some time. My biggest regret when I first started out, March 2017, was not buying myself out. So look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4 months. And I think 5th month is when I got tiered up to 25, I believe. So for half a year, I am sitting there, thinking about merch every single day. And if you guys are like me, you're probably doing the same thing. Making $17 a month, making 3 sales, 4 sales, when I could have immediately the second month been already tiered up and been ahead of the game, right? So just imagine this curve. But again, I am the guy that started with 0 experience. I didn't know anything about keywords, titles, any of that. So I would say, for me, like a year or 2 years was probably a learning curve. But here's my tier 10, right? So if you don't want to sit in this situation for 5-6 months, buy yourself out. Specific niche targeting. This is like the next. This is the high level stuff. Now we talk about specific niches, and people say this is the way to actually make sales in general. Absolutely, I completely agree. But when I'm talking about like specific, I'm saying you have 10 products to list, and they better be the best titles, best keywords, best research, best graphics that you can think of. And this actually helps when you do or pick a niche or a category in which you have a high interest in or a lot of knowledge in. And when somebody actually spends a long time developing a product and a listing, you can really tell that it pays off in their sales and results. Now, if I was to kind of counter my point here, or not counter, but just to kind of question and say, well, why don't you do that with every single product that you list right now? That's a very good question. I'm going to tell you why. Because I can't do it with 1,200, for me personally, being in tier 20,000 times a day, because that's my room for upload. That's my limited or allowed number of uploads. For people in 100,000 tier or 200,000, we're talking about 4,000 to 10,000 products a day. So does it make sense to do extensive research for every single product? Absolutely. Am I going to do that? No, that's not my strategy right now because I'm in tier 20,000. But does it make sense for tier 10, for tier 25, maybe even for tier 100? Absolutely. So this is like, again, I think that if we were all doing this every single day with every single one of our products, we would be a lot more successful. Pick a niche category. I've already mentioned that. But let's talk about this. Pick a niche or a category in which you have a high interest in or knowledge in. And that means, and here's, I'm going to give this, man, I can't remember the channel, the YouTube channel, where I kind of got this idea from. It was a guy doing an update on his Merch by Amazon account, and he was making something like $10,000 in profits in royalties every single month. And something dirty or dirty frank, I can't remember. But he basically took us through, if you were watching his video, and you know, he's doing Wikipedia research. He's taking the terminology from Wikipedia pages in a very specific niche. He was talking about I think motorcycles and motorcycle racing and all that kind of stuff. And this guy was basically saying, you know what, don't just throw anything up there, because if I'm looking for a motorcycle racing shirt, I don't want a dirt bike to pop up on my screen, right? So this guy was like high level stuff, and he knew what he was talking about. And this comes up in your listings, in your customer searches. If they're looking for something very specific, they don't want a generic item that you know, there are thousands or hundreds of thousands of them out there. So that's kind of the point that I'm trying to make here. Pick a TV show or a movie genre, right? Because again, if you have a knowledge in something, or if a TV show or something gets pretty popular and trendy, let's think about, you know, Game of Thrones. A couple of years ago, everybody was watching Game of Thrones, and everybody, you know, had similar shirts and everything, you know, that were based on certain TV show quotes. It just works. But again, you have to really know what the fan base is and kind of target those people, target those specific people. Talk about unique hobbies, right? Like if somebody was to talk to me about, I don't even know, let's say collecting and categorizing insects. I have no idea. Like, I even just made that up. But I'm just saying there are people out there that care very, very much about certain things that they enjoy doing and hobbies that you know, there's a huge opportunity for everybody, including people in higher tiers. This is definitely something to target. But again, if you're only putting out 10 or 25 products, you can do a lot more research than, for example, than I could trying to fill those 1,200 slots every single day. New fast-growing sports. This is actually something that a lot of people don't realize could be extremely profitable. Now, a while ago, and this is the one thing, usually don't give up my designs or anything through this channel, but I will talk about this. A couple of years ago, this is what I did. I was doing research on new fast-growing sports, and now for years the thing that's coming up is pickleball. And if you guys are not familiar, I would say just do some research and look at the growth over the last couple of years, and you'll realize, for example, how many people are involved in something that is still fairly new, right? It's a fairly new sport, and now, you know, years after this sport started being played, people are starting to know about it. But imagine how many other things are out there that people haven't found out about. And then when they get into a certain sport, you know how it is, you get, you know, pretty obsessed about something, and that's the kind of merchandise that you're looking for. So that's another suggestion. And again, keep in mind, like when I was doing research for this, some of these are my ideas from my own experience, and then other things I've gone through Reddit discussion boards. I've looked at you know, generic recommendations online. So many different things, right? So these are the ideas, like I said, that are coming up that make sense to me, and that I would definitely do if I could talk to myself from, you know, 2 to 3 years ago when I was starting out. Competitive pricing. Now, a lot of people do this. It doesn't even matter what tier they're in, but for a tier 10 or 25, I was just playing around with the listing page, and $13.07 is the no profit price for a standard t-shirt. Now, I'm just talking about standard t-shirts. You guys can list whatever products you want, but this is where I'm thinking, do you care about making $5, $10 in profits for that month if you're in tier 10, or do you actually want to get out of that tier? And you know what, even though I on this channel I've talked about low pricing, and I did an experiment for a couple of months to see if there's a difference between listing a product for $15.99 or $19.99. I found that there's no difference, but I've never listed something at $13.07. I've never listed something at $13.99, right? I think there's a bit of a difference there, and that this could actually work because you're not making any money. And if you find a nice quality t-shirt for $13.07 with a nice design, people are gonna buy it. And these are some other ideas that I'm just gonna go over briefly because as I was looking at them, they made sense, but it's I didn't think that it wasn't as important as, for example, or as effective as buying yourself out. So stay on top of trends. What's trending, and actually chase a trend. This is where you're going to be looking at Twitter terms that are trending. You're going to look at Google Trends. You're going to go through Amazon's best-selling products and collect that information, right? If there's a song that goes viral, if there's a video, movie, or something like that, this is a short-term strategy. If it doesn't work, in a week or so, you're not making any sales, get rid of it. Start something new. Start listing new products. It doesn't matter if you take things down, but when it comes to what's trending, this is what you want to do. You don't want to design products or put up products for sale that are trending today, and then in like 3 weeks say, well, I'm not selling anything. Well, no, it's most likely that the trend is gone, and nobody cares. Approach local businesses. I've somewhat mentioned this in the first slide when I was talking about kids soccer clubs or whatever, but there are a lot of businesses that would love to buy branded products. If you say, hey, here, give me your design, give me your logo, I'm going to put it on a t-shirt, I'm going to give it to you, at this price, you ship this to yourself, you actually do in-person sales, it can work. And this is where I'm kind of conflicted between if I could do full-time sales and actually work on this. You can make a ton of money actually doing this kind of stuff and making relationships with businesses. It can even be a doctor's office. Like, there's so many things that you can actually do and bring these ideas to where people will actually buy your products. And then the last thing that I'll say, this is the last slide, is improve the evergreens. Go through, some of the evergreens, some of the designs that will sell every single day, every single month, every single year, and just improve them. But improve them significantly. Don't just do a half-assed, job where you say, this is a little better than the best-selling design or best-selling product, and then you're like, okay, let's list it. No, do a really good job. And you will see results. Now, everything that I've talked about could apply, like I said, to somebody like myself in tier 20,000. But this is where you're going to have to decide what your strategy is. For me, the strategy is to list as many designs as I can and do okay research, write okay descriptions, titles, bullet points, whatever. Because I am talking about high volume. When you're in tier 10, when you're in tier 25, you have a lot more time to perfect things. I could also do this. For example, I could list, 5 designs every single day, 10 designs every single day, and do extensive research on every single product. And it could probably work. The results would be great. But I'm choosing a different strategy, and a lot of other people are as well. So that's about it. This is kind of been years of collecting information and like I said, from personal experience, and then doing research, like I said, through different resources, including other people who are in the same business, discussing this kind of stuff on Reddit and other websites. So again, just to go through this very quickly, buy yourself out. Honestly, spend some money. If you have money, spend the money. It's worth it. Specific niche targeting, do extensive research, pick a niche that you're familiar with, and just go for it. Competitive pricing, price things extremely, extremely low. And then other ideas is, chase a trend, talk to local businesses, and improve evergreens. 20-minute video, but I think it's completely worth it. I know this generates a lot of discussion, not just on this channel, but other channels as well. So, if you guys have any suggestions, people in higher tiers that have actually gone through and used in the past, put it down in the comments, because this is the valuable information to people that are just starting out. And if you're somebody who's actually just started out and maybe you got yourself out of tier 10 or 25 and you want to share that again, leave a comment, because this is valuable information to a lot of people. Anyways, I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you soon.